Ayan. So, for this video, so this would be the last part of yung sinabi ko kanina doon sa may video earlier, sa may population and sample. So, let's talk about the third process of statistics. Diba? Meron na tayong collection of data, meron na tayong organization of data, which is yung frequency table. So, I hope alam nyo kung paano gumawa ng frequency table. And then, third process natin is we have presentation of data. Now, sa presentation of data, dito na natin i-present or i-share sa mga tao kung ano yung na-collect ninyong data or information natin. Now, just a reminder, when it comes to the presentation of data, the graph should have a title, label, or both vertical and horizontal scales and heading for each scale. So, meaning, meron dapat label. Sana all may label. Ayan. So, dapat may label yung mga graphs ninyo para pag tinignan ng mga tao, ito pala yung ibig sabihin ng graph nito. Ayan. So, yun yung main point itong reminder natin. Ngayon, there are a lot of ways and means on how to present data, pero here are some of the common way of presenting the data to everybody. So, let's have the first one, line graph. So, sa line graph natin, I know some of you are familiar with this one, pero let me just cut the story short. Pag sinabing line graph, ito yung graph na nagpapakita ng changes over time. For example, ito yung example natin ay yung sa stock market. Diba kung mapapansin niyo pag nagre-report sila ng stock market, meron yung graph na pataas pa linya, may linya-linya tapos may mga dot. So, yun yung ating line graph. Now, example kung kailan gagamit ang line graph ay changes in temperature, changes in income, changes in population, and the like. Basta may pagbabago sa mga data, yun yung tinatawag na line graph. Na example ng line graph natin ay ito. So as you can see, in this graph, makikita ninyo small town teens with cell phones. Ito yung graph na nagpapakita kung ilan yung mga kabataan na may cellphone based on their age. So as you can see, if we try to interpret the data, ang pinakamadaming bilang ng mga kabataan na may cellphone at the age of 19 ay 642. Ayan. So, makikita ninyo, pag ikaw ay bilang sa 19 years old, ito, let me just reconstruct my statement. So, dito sa graph natin, kung mapapansin niyo, we have the number of teens bilang ng kabataan, we have 200, 400, 600, 800 natin. And sa baba naman ay yung mga edad. Ngayon, if we try to interpret the data, yung mga kabataan na 19 years old, yung bilang nila is we have 642. Ngayon, yung pinakamababa naman yung bilang ng kabataan is nag-under siya ng 13 years old natin. So, you just try to describe kung ano yung napapansin niyo sa data. Yun ang purpose ng descriptive statistics. Pag sinabing descriptive statistics, we just describe kung ano yung na-collect na data. Yun yung sa line graph natin. So, as you can see, habang tumatanda ka, padami ng padami yung mga may cellphone. At the same time, habang bata ka, pakonti ng pakonti yung habang pabata ng pabata, pakonti-unti yung mga may cellphone natin. So, yung one way in interpreting the data or one way to explain the graph natin. Pangalawa is we have yung tinatawag natin na bar graph. Ngayon, sa bar graph, unlike in line graph natin, it shows the changes, yung pagbabago sa mga data or mga information na nakokollect. Sa bar graph naman, we try to present the data kung gaano kadami. Take note, kung gaano kadami yung na nakollect sa isang data natin. Ito na yung sa performance test ninyo. As you can see, di ba, meron tayong choices doon na 4. We have in choice 1, choice 2, both, tapos none. Sa bar graph, ulitin ko lang, ipapakita mo kung gaano kadami yung pumili or kung gaano kadami na collect mong data. Now, example of bar graph natin na ito. Example, let's say ako yung researcher. Sa research ko, sa study ko, inalam ko kung ano yung mga alaga na meron sila. We have rabbit, dog, cat, goldfish, and then hamster. Now, if you look closely, ang pinakamadaming bilang dito ay cat. We have 11. At pinakakakonti naman ay si rabbit. So, it only shows kung gaano kadami yung data na na-collect natin. Ayan. So, we have rabbit, we have dog, we have cat, we have goldfish, and we have hamster natin. So, again, as you can see sa bar graph, pinapakita natin kung gaano kadami So, we have number of people sa may vertical side. At ito naman yung mga pet na meron sila. So, we have hamster, goldfish, cat, dog, and then rabbit natin. Ngayon, another common way of presenting data natin ay itong pie graph natin. So, ito yung mga example ng bar graph natin. Ayan. So, we have fair, lunch, snack, requirement, ayun ko kung rec, and then sub. Ayan. Basta yan, yung mga example ng bar graph. And then ito, pwede rin siya maging horizontal, pwede rin siya maging vertical. Ngayon, let's have an example. So, in this graph, it shows the students' favorite after-school activities. Ano yung paborito na lang ginagawa after school? So, we have play sports, talk on phone, visit with friends, earn money, chat online, school clubs, and watch TV. Ngayon, as you can see, ang pinakamadami ay si visit with friends with 99. So, meaning, 99 students ang ginagawa usually after class ay binibisita yung mga kaibigan. And whereas, yung pinakakaunti naman ay school clubs. Meaning, after school, may ginagawa sila sa mga different clubs nila. Yan yung one way to analyze the graph natin. Ngayon, moving on, skip ko na itong iba dito. We have pie chart. Sa pie chart natin, example ito ay pabilog na chart. Kung ewan ko kung na-encounter nyo ito during elementary, pero I know some of you are familiar with pie charts natin. Now, sa pie charts natin, similar sa bar graph kung gaano kadami, pero in a form of a circle. That's why, for this example, ito po yung pie chart natin. Yan. So, in this pie chart, we have favorite type of movie. So, we have comedy 4, we have sci-fi 4, we have drama 1, we have romance 6, and we have action, which is 5, and then 25% natin. Yan. Pinapakita ko gano'ng kadami. So, meaning, yung mga pumili ng comedy, they are 20% of the population natin. And then we have actions as 5, and then we have romance as 6, we have drama as 1, and sci-fi as 4 natin. Ngayon, ito, we have daily allowance 200. Ayan, ito yun. Dito sa may pie chart naman natin nito, yung current pie chart natin ngayon, pinapakita kung saan napupunta yung 200 pesos na yan. So, we have fare, we have lunch, we have snacks, we have requirements, we have savings natin. Ayan. So, ang pinakamalaking portion ng pie chart natin ay napunta sa blue, which is kay lunch. So, meaning out of the 200 pesos napupunta mostly sa lunch, at yung pinakakakonti naman, or let's say, pinakakonti naman ay sa fare, sa pamasahe, at sa savings sa ipon natin. Ngayon, how do we interpret now yung pie chart natin? So, ayan. Ayan. So, I'll be cutting the video for the meantime para punta ko dun sa may solution natin. Ayan. Just wait for a moment. So, ayan. So, continuing the discussion sa presentation of data, ngayon, how do we interpret now pie chart? Kasi mostly, some of the students or some of the people or persons hindi alam, individual rather, hindi alam kung paano interpret yung mga nakalagay dun sa pie chart natin. So let's have this example. In a class of 200 students, a survey was done to collect each student's favorite sport. So as you can see, may nakalagay dyan na mga percent. So we have football, 25%, cricket, 17%, badminton, 12%, hockey, 5%, and then other, which is 41%. Ngayon, if we try to get the exact number kung ilan yung pumili ng football, we're just going to do a simple calculation natin. So, sa football natin, so let me just type something. Medyo mabagal to ante. Football. Ayan. Now, to get for football, we just simply multiply 200 times yung percent natin, which is 25. Ngayon, si 25%, i-convert mo siya into decimal. So, we have 0.25. That will give you the total number of, wait lang sa calculator para mabilis. Kung gusto nyo, unahan nyo na rin ako para maharap nyo na rin yung iba. 200 times 0.25, we have 50 students natin. O, ngayon, paano pag kinuha mo naman si cricket? O, ilan yung bilang ni cricket sa tingin ninyo? In 5. Sige, bibigyan ko ng 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. O, yan. Ngayon, to get for the number of cricket, you just simply, again, kung paano kay football, so we have 200 times yung percent ni cricket, which is 17, or converting to decimal, so we have 0.17. Ang makuha mo dito ay 0.1734 individuals, students. Ayan. So, yan yung pagkuha ng ating exact number sa pie chart natin. Ayan. So, we have cricket. Ngayon, gawin natin sa iba, badminton. Ganun din. Badminton is 12%, so we have 0.12. Ilan magiging sagot sa tingin ninyo? Magiging ano kaya to? Unahan nyo na ako habang nagtatype pa ako. We have 200 times 0.12. Ang magiging result nito ay 24 students natin. Yan yung sa badminton. Ito yung bilang nung sa pie chart natin. Sa hockey naman, hockey tayo. Hockey. So we have ganun din, 200 times ilang percent sa hockey? 5%. That makes 0.05. Magiging 10 students. Pasensya na, medyo mabagal yung control pagta-type ko. And then, for the last one, si 41%. So, meaning, may iba pang sports na wala dito sa pie chart natin. Example, volleyball, soccer, or kung ano mang sports yan. Baka pwede pa maging e-sports yan. O mga ML, ganyan, something like that. We don't know kung ano yung other sports na yan. So, other sports natin. To know the date, to know the exact. So, we have other sports. So, we have 200 times 0.41. Magiging 82. Yan. So, we have 82 students natin. Yan yung solution kung paano pag-interpret ng pie chart natin. Yan yung simple way of simple way of interpreting the pie chart natin. Ayan. So, as you can see, ang ginawa lang natin ay minultiply lang natin siya sa total, which is 200. So, ganun lang din gagawin in every pie chart natin. Ayan. So, again, pag hinahanap yung exact number, we just simply multiply the total and then multiply the total by the percentage. So, the percentage, halimbawa, si football, 25%. So, kinuha yung decimal form niya, siya ay magiging tawag dito, 0.25% natin. So, yan. So, yun yung simple calculations naman about interpreting sa ating pie chart. Ayan. Eksaktong 5 minutes. Peace out.